So first, yeah, when Ryan came to me, when we talked about it, it was before he had met Stallone or anything. So that was back, I don't know what year, 2009, 2010. And he was like, are you interested in doing this, writing this movie with me? And he told me the basic idea. He was like, Apollo Creed's son, Rocky's older, and maybe he's sick or he's struggling with things that old people struggle with. And I thought it was really a cool idea then. And for me, the franchise itself was always something that, um, I mean, it was a big inspiration for me growing up. I mean, there were movies that I really loved, one through four specifically. And really, I think three was one that I really probably saw the most growing up until that point. So for me, it just sounded like a really cool idea. And we had talked even before that about doing a boxing project together. It was something that we both thought was made for just really great movies because of the Rocky franchise, because of movies like Fighter that had come out, and Raging Bull was always one of my favorites. And the connection to seeing Rocky growing older too was another thing that really struck with me because I guess I have a fascination with like kind of that age bracket or even like the concept of nearing the end kind of thing. So I immediately connected to it, and even from that point was looking forward to writing it with Ryan before we had any connection. Just on spec, it was something that we were super passionate about, right from the get.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't realize that. So Ryan was thinking about Rocky way before anyone had approached him to meet with Sylvester Stallone. So it was something
Yeah,
that
yeah. I
was.
think that's how that meeting happened. He told his team about the idea, and then they relayed it, and then he got the meeting with Rocky, Rocky Sylvester Stallone's agent, which led to a meeting with Sylvester Stallone. You know,
Yeah.
it was really a crazy kind of synergy of things happening. Just from Ryan, having this idea and his passion. Hopefully me, wanting to be a part of it, and being such good friends with him. That was another ball that got rolling. Him doing like the Sundance Labs with the Oscar Grant FRUITVALE Station. All those things kind of rolled. It was like a snowball, and on a very light incline that just kind of picked up steam
Yeah.
to this point. you know.
I was curious about sort of like your writing process with Ryan. Did you guys make a very detailed outline and character breakdown? Did you guys work together in the same room? Did you kind of divide up scenes that you were writing?
Yeah, we definitely worked in the same room. I actually was in his guest room when we were writing actually writing the script. But even before that, we focused mainly on character. Rocky's character being pretty well defined. We just wanted to see where we thought he would be at this point in his life, right? Like, he's done all the fighting. We figured he's completely done fighting, and how does he transition into this role as possibly a trainer where it didn't work out for him so well before when he did it in Rocky Five, right? So would he even want to do that again? So we like, what would it take for him to get back into that? And then we had the idea of obviously the Apollo Creed's son, that character, and what it would mean for him having grown up under like Apollo, but not with Apollo, but also being illegitimate son, that kind of thing. And then we looked at what other characters would fill the landscape, if it's people from Rocky's past, and we knew there had to be a love interest, which became Bianca. That was something we spent a lot of time on early. And so from there, from the characters and having a broad idea of what we wanted them to be, and Ryan having some specific scenes in his mind, to start, like the intro of the film where he's down in Mexico fighting, like we knew that from the beginning. We wanted that. We knew the big fight, how that would kind of form, being similar to the first movie. And we went through a lot of iterations, and then we came up with the basic ideas, which formed the treatment. I think it was like an 8-page treatment that we did. So it wasn't like super detailed outline, but the big plot points, even that were in the treatment, are still in the film, and minor changes here and there. But the story kind of was formed early, and then we just worked around the details of that. So then we broke it up. We'd break it up, and then like, okay, this is the whole treatment. What are basically the scenes that we're looking at? We get about 60, 70 scenes on note cards, and then we would take those, Basically like different sequences and say, okay, I'll do this one, you do that one. And then we bring it together and then just collab on the whole document from there.
Yeah, and you kind of rewrite each other's scenes.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Just coming up, even as we're talking and being like, well, I wrote the scene like this, and then we'd be like, let's make it, you know, simpler, or maybe this scene needs to say a little more, so, you know, half dozen iterations of any one scene, especially like the bigger scenes, like him and Bianca's first date was a scene that went through a lot of iterations, and when him and Rocky first meet, it's like, what are they saying in this first meeting was something that, you know, you try, make it longer, shorter, Rocky more to say, Adonis more to say, playing with all these different ways to look at it. And then as it goes along, you end up collaborating with the actors too, once they really get involved and, you know, they're giving feedback. Obviously, Stallone had a lot of great notes, a lot of great feedback, because it was his characters he created. And then Mike comes in and he has his ideas and he's living with this Adonis. He's getting into that character. So he has an idea of what he would say. And it's just a whole collaboration process from there in terms of from the script to the final product. He said before in numerous interviews that he didn't see Rocky fighting anymore anyway. And I think it was more just Stallone being an artist, and he's an artist, and then Ryan being an artist. And those two really connecting. And I mean, the most important thing was that Stallone allowed Ryan to continue to meet with him. So that means he was always open for it. He never said, like, don't schedule any more meetings with this kid. I don't want to hear about him. As long as he left that door open, I knew that there was a possibility of it happening and it moving forward, you know. Ryan was very persistent and very passionate about the project, and I was just, from my point of view, just, you know, getting feedback from Ryan from the meetings. He was like, yeah, Stallone, he's into it, I think it's going to happen. And other times he'd be like, oh, I'm not sure, you know, he's kind of trying to decide if he really wants to. And I was just trying to be supportive and confident that it would happen. So, you know, it was really just, like I said, it was just this great synergy. And Stallone being open to it led us to find ways to connect to him, to, you know, the things that he might be feeling or thinking about the time, about where the character could go, and also a chance for him to explore that he might not have thought about before. He's not the prototypical tough guy, you know. He's always been the underdog. He's always had, like, you know, he's a really self-deprecating character, you know, kind of full of, you know, self-doubt, you know. I mean, remember in the second one where he was doing the commercials and he was struggling with reading and everything, and then even in the third one when he was like, I got stuff to lose now. So you saw, like, hints of that before, so I think it was, for me, like a natural progression that at an older age, when he didn't have the boxing to kind of fall back on, how that would manifest itself. You know, he's still trying to, like, even in our movie, he still tries to, you know, protect himself against that vulnerability. He's like, you know, the tough older guy, but as he breaks down, you know, it just comes flooding out.